This is JordangeVision. Pull up a seat and kick up your feet. Welcome guys. How are we doing? It's time for another episode of the Lyle and Erik Menendez story. We're almost near the end. We have this episode and then we have one more after that. Can you believe it? So episode 7 began with a look back to the trial of John Thomas Sweeney, who was the killer of Dominique Dunn. Of the daughter of Dominic Dunn, obviously. And we showed Dominic's reaction to not only his daughter's killing, but the lenient sentencing of her killer, which was only about 3.5 years. We saw his outburst in the court, which, the judge gave him a lot of leeway, and thankfully I didn't lock him up at the time, I don't think. But so the episode kind of looked at Dominic quite a bit and his contentious relationship with Leslie Abramson, who is a defense attorney, is kind of his natural enemy. A lot of back and forth between them about, how can you defend someone like the Menendez brothers, and her coming back with, how can you ignore what happened to them, yada, yada, yada. Dominic saying, they're making it all up, and, a lot of back and forth like that. So it kind of starts with Lyle actually kind of being dishonest, calling his friends in and saying, hey, can you lie for me? Can you say my dad did this to you? Can you say, you showed up at my house one day and found me in a closet covered with poop and whatever, and friends refusing to do that because it never happened, and Lyle trying to convince the friends that, it did happen, they just forgot about it. Yeah, so Lyle's getting a little bit desperate at this point. Then we get into Lyle, practicing testimony with the attorneys and, answering the questions, but being very stone-faced and very emotionless, and Leslie kind of coaching him, saying, if you answer questions like that, they're not going to be on your side. You have to really tap into your emotions, and then when it gets to the actual day, he's answering the questions and he has a full-on breakdown on the stand. And it's after that when Dominic Dunn kind of approaches Leslie and saying, either, these guys were coached incredibly, or, they suffered some great abuse, and, I finally kind of understand where you're coming from. And in reality, it's kind of a little of both, I guess, but yeah. And, it kind of helps the two of them, kind of set aside their differences. I mean, they're never going to be fully set aside because of, who they are. Leslie's a defense attorney, and Dominic Dunn is a victim advocate, so they're always going to have a little bit of difference, but at least at the end of that episode, they came to a little bit of an understanding, I guess. They kind of saw each other's points of view a little better. So, yeah, we're going into episode 8 now. Just 2 episodes left. Let's see what's going on here. So, without further ado, episode 8. Here we go. Before I get started, please remember to like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff, and don't forget, reacting to art is sharing art. Channels like these benefit everyone from the viewers all the way up to the original creators themselves. Also, reminder, spoilers are likely, so if you haven't seen this episode yet and would like to, please feel free to click off and take care of that first. I'll be here when you get back, but for those of you who are sticking with me, pull up a seat, kick up your feet. This is the Lyle and Erik Menendez story, episode 8, and the title is Seismic Shifts. Interesting title. Here we go.
State your name for the record.
Judalon Smith.
Oh, Judalon.
Judalon.
I remember her.
Smith.
I guess she heard a lot.
I also sell and specialize in crystals and stones, and I publish a newsletter for doll collectors.
Yeah. I didn't know that much about her. She was just,
Shanti Oz and
Oziel's mistress.
And Dr. Oziel answered. He said I didn't need a seminar. I needed one-on-one therapy.
So she was basically a patient. I mean, we kind of knew that, but yeah.
And your relationship became sexual, did it not?
Well, our relationship became rape, brainwashing, hypnotism,
we didn't hear all this.
Physical abuse. Wow, I'm talking.
You don't know how court works, do you?
He put me on Xanax and Prozac. He made me take an AIDS test before we had sex. That's when
AIDS was a big thing.
Later,
a lot of people did that.
He was getting a jury's license, was suspended the entire time. He shouldn't have been
She's
seen
going off.
anybody.
Objection.
He had his patients pay him in chores like they were his servants.
Your Honor,
just like
objection.
I was a sex servant.
Objection.
I think the guy's a bit of a quack, but wow.
I objected to that too.
Who's running this court?
This is an IOU for 500 sex acts I had to perform on him.
What does this have to do with the Menendez case?
Yes. Yes, I did, and my cats were the witnesses. It's their cute little paws.
I don't think that holds up.
He's still there.
Oh my God. I think it's recording us.
But then, because I had all that equipment for my business, yes, I did start recording him.
You're not quite that horrified anymore, eh?
I'm gonna increase your dose of Prozac because I'm a hunk of burning love.
That's him doing Elvis.
That's a terrible
And
impression.
sometimes when we kiss, the honesty is too much. And it makes me want to do you on the kitchen floor.
That's like Sometimes When We Touch with different lyrics.
I like that a lot, Dr. Daddy.
Dr. Daddy.
Well, he knew
Okay.
I wanted to break up with him, so he used Lyle and Erik to suck me back in.
Judalon, I'm serious. He's on his way over, and I'm scared, and I need your help.
He basically called her to be a
And Miss
witness.
Smith, could you hear what they were saying inside the office?
No, just Erik crying and Lyle shouting.
That's probably enough. How do you know
So
who was
didn't
with,
hear
who was doing
them
what?
Threat.
And Jerry was not scared after they left.
There's $14 million.
He was a little scared before they left.
Judalon. I mean, and I just want to help them invest it. And yes, Automax is my company, but it's
All right, they
also a
talked
great
about the business
investment.
partnership and stuff.
Stop it!
What? Yeah, that goes beyond doctor boundaries right there. If that's what happened.
She has tried to do this before, but I'm her doctor.
So she's saying that he jammed those pills down her throat and then tried to frame it as a suicide. If all this is
But
true, he
Erik
was a fucking
was
criminal.
coming after. He used the word thorns to hypnotize me. So whenever he would say thorns, my mind would just go blank. He raped me.
Sometimes they can do that.
Has L. Jerome
Hypnotism
Oziel
is a crazy
ever been
thing.
accused of assaulting other patients?
Objection. Relevance.
It's extremely relevant, I'd say, of having sex with them
Strike that from the record.
with
I would think that's a pretty important question, though.
when you there for
and I'm interested in the
safety,
answer.
You're not just saying all this because you wouldn't divorce his wife and have kids with you?
I did not want kids that looked like him.
She was pretty pissed off about that. That is kind of why she went to the police in the first place.
Jurors, I remind you not to deliberate or discuss the case.
What? Oh, earthquake? Seismic shifts. That's the title.
Did you feel that? No. Feel what?
Was there an earthquake during the trial?
Million. I mean, I always thought that it was going to be more like 30. I think that it probably is more like 30 that we'll get from the estate, but let's just say that it's fucking 14.
You got legal fees, though.
Okay, so 13.
Yeah, I guess if they were acquitted, they would still get the
And there's
estate,
going to be
right?
a movie. Eric, they're going to make a fucking movie about us.
Yeah. And a TV show
Neat.
that I'm watching right now.
Who's going to play us?
I don't know,
I think
Lyle.
that you and I need to figure out a way that we're in charge of decisions like that.
Imagine being the
What do you
actress
wanna do when
playing
this
them
is
and
all
reading a
over?
line like
'Cause-
that.
And all those fuckheads who say that we're serial killers like Jeffrey Dahmer.
Dahmer's cousins.
They can eat shit. They can
They're
eat
not
shit.
exactly like Dahmer, no.
Great fucking
Dahmer
vibe.
was just a homicidal maniac.
I was thinking maybe Rob Lowe could play you.
Rob Lowe.
He's
I see
sexy.
that.
We should make him audition.
I get to meet him. Oh, yep. There's your seismic shift right there. January 17, 1994. Okay. But yeah, there must have been a big earthquake. It doesn't surprise me it's California, but you know.
Open the gates! Open the gates!
Open the gate is probably something they yell a lot, regardless of whether there's an earthquake or not. But
I need to speak to somebody at the LA County Men's Jail.
Leslie, I smell gas. We need to get out of here.
Okay, I just need to know
Oh,
if
yeah,
the
everyone's
building
having
is
trouble.
there.
Leslie,
Stand
imagine having to answer that. Imagine having to ask that.
And they're both fine, tossed around, but they're doing okay. They don't stop. By you
Yeah, this must have been a big one.
I got hold of Weisberg, said there's no way it's going to be safe to continue here. He's open to other options, said we can likely use a courtroom that's downtown.
Can't they just cancel court for a while?
Malkovich. John fucking Malkovich.
John
That is who
Malkovich.
played me on Saturday Night Live. Norma saw
Oh,
it, said it
really?
was fucking awesome. We are fucking famous. And it's not just
I'm
the
trying to
trial,
think
it's
back. I remember
us.
Malkovich
Our
hosting,
ratings
but
are through the
I
fucking
don't remember that
roof.
sketch.
They're off the charts.
But I could see that too.
You know it's okay to cry when you get up there on the stand, right?
Yeah.
Eric's a bit of an easier crier.
Here I am telling you, you're the actor and the screenwriter. Not that you're acting.
Eric probably feels it a little more.
It's okay to, like, get emotional or whatever.
Lyle. I've got this.
Eric knows what he's doing.
Mr. Menendez, you're aware of the idiosyncrasies with that microphone? If you're too close, it pops. If you're too far away, we can't hear you.
Yes.
Oh, it's a shitty mic.
That's right.
Just don't move your head at all.
Okay. Okay, I think you need to come in.
Wow. Get a better mic.
I figured he'd punish me in some way because when
Eric, you need to sit back. You're popping the mic.
Dude,
she was
just get a better
recording my
mic.
calls, and she tapped my phone.
Back
because-
up from the mic.
You're a
Well,
courtroom. You can afford
She
it.
would put a. She used to put. I think
Yeah,
the
this is
microphone
totally
too
messing
low.
with it.
Okay, there was Tupperware in the closet.
He's fucking this up. He looks like a fucking psycho.
in
Yeah, the mic's
middle
pissing him
between
off.
what? Just like that. Just back up. You need to sit back a little bit because you're popping the mic. So just put your back against...
I'd be so pissed off if I were in that position.
You're not facing it. You need to face the mic.
I know. I need to use the restroom. I need a break.
I would need to punch something. Like, I'd go into that restroom and, like, the stall wouldn't have a door anymore.
Me telling...
You telling what?
Me telling Lyle that,
It was you telling Lyle what?
Just let the man talk.
Okay, it was you telling Lyle what?
my dad...
Okay, he's feeling it a little too intensely. He can't even talk.
My dad had been molesting me.
Yeah.
And
I knew that's where he was going, but yeah.
Were there different kinds of molestation, Eric?
Yes. Yes.
And would you tell us, what were the names you gave?
Yeah, he gave them all names.
Names.
You got this. Oh.
Rough sex.
After you and your brother shot your parents, you did a lot of lying.
Objection, argumentative.
True, though, they did.
You lied. Are you telling the truth?
Yes.
Now, about
Yes.
everything.
Yes.
You're not.
Yeah.
No.
About anything.
They lied about not being the
Go to
murderers for a while,
Santa
but...
Monica, and you and Lyle looked in the case, and then you were told you couldn't leave the store with the handguns because there was a 15-day wait. Is that right? Mr. Menendez,
remember all that.
Did you know that Big Five stopped carrying handguns in 1986?
Wait, what?
Okay.
They went into somewhere.
Miss Pizanich,
Was
there
told
were
there was a
guns
wait.
there. We did look at them. And the guy said that we could not leave the store with them.
Yeah, where are they getting this?
You have lied in the past, but you're not lying now?
They're trying to catch him.
Why'd you say that we tried to buy a gun at Big Five?
Was it not Big Five?
I told you, because that's what I remember.
No, we
Maybe he
tried
just
to buy
mixed the
fucking
stores up.
handguns. The Big Five in Santa Monica sold BB guns right next to the fucking fishing
Okay,
rods.
so he just
That's
got it
why
wrong.
We had...
I was up there for hours.
You look like a psycho. You look like you wanted to fucking kill somebody, Eric.
Yeah, because of that fucking microphone.
It's a fucking
Yeah, that's what I'm
animal.
saying.
Why are you sit in one fucking spot? Answer the questions like we practice.
I will not let you blame me for this. You
Oh, they're
made
gonna
me
go
do
at it right on this
whole
van
thing.
here.
You are the one who
It's
wrote
true.
a screenplay about murdering your parents, which, I'm sorry, at the risk of repeating myself, what in the fuck kind of lame-ass title is Friends? Who's gonna watch something called Friends, Eric?
Yeah, who's
How
gonna watch
fucking
something
dare
called
you?
Friends? Only
I
10
could've gone up
seasons,
there on
right?
that witness stand, and I could have said that this all happened because Mom and Dad were recording your phone calls, and they found you saying a bunch of fucking gay shit. They found out that you and Craig Signorelli were gobbling each other's dongs. Shit.
Was it Craig or was it somebody
Could've
else?
said that you made this happen. This is your fault.
They're gonna kill each other.
Says the guy who blew our dad's head off and shot our mom in the face.
Eric, let's not forget what they did to us, okay? They got exactly what they deserved.
Yeah, they didn't exactly put Eric in the best spot there, but
Delivery went great.
yeah.
Easy.
It was an unfortunate mix-up.
He's healthy?
Your son is perfect. Healthy, 7 pounds, 5 ounces.
Oh, they've got their son now.
Like, Kirk Cameron's a good actor. It's just not sexy. Yeah?
They're still auditioning actors.
Like, Lyle Menendez has sex appeal.
Just ask him.
December dawn.
It's my girlfriend.
What? Fuck you.
No fucking way. Swear to God,
No
I'll show
way.
you the letters.
What happened to that Norma chick? Oh, another earthquake. They're having a bad month, aren't they?
Hey, sweetheart.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
How's the new baby?
But today is about you. Let's go get you out of here, okay?
Time to help my other son.
The burden of proof in this case is on the prosecution.
Just like any other case.
When somebody has an honest and in good faith belief that they are in danger and they defend themselves, they cannot be convicted of more than manslaughter.
Okay, apparently that is a thing.
The prosecution was
They
about
weren't in
money.
danger at the time, though, is the problem.
But, so if they had waited 2 weeks, they would have gotten that $5 million. So why not just wait if it was all about the money?
Good question.
If you live in a neighborhood and there's been a lot of burglaries and you buy a gun, are you planning to kill? No. If they
True,
were
but
planning to kill, why
if it was
wouldn't
2
they
days
just
before.
wait Or how about Cousin Al? who said that Jose made Erik and Lyle shower together.
Why did
How
none of
he
these
beat
people
them
report it?
Black and blue. How when the abuse started at the age of 6, Erik went from being a totally happy kid to completely withdrawn.
I mean, that'll
Or
do
cousin Di- that Erik and Lyle would have to fight for the privilege of not having to sleep with their mother. Or Coach Wadlington.
Wow.
Who testified, and I quote, Jose Menendez was the worst parent and the harshest person he had ever met.
Not surprised at all.
Pins and tacks like this into his thigh and scraped along his penis. It's ironic that he should die on the trophy case because perverted sexual experiments and serious abusers
Win or lose, this is a
very
lawyer
possessive
right here.
of it.
She knows
Well, the
exactly what she's
problem is
talking
that
about.
Children, we don't respect children very much in this country. We think they lie. We think they make things up. We think they fantasize. Well, no wonder children who are abused have a hard time trusting adults.
It's true of a lot of kids.
Lila and Erika Menendez. Would it make any difference to you? Because if it would, it shouldn't. Sometimes
It's true, it
they
shouldn't, but it
are.
probably would make a difference to a
And
lot of
you
people.
People have asked me what I want out of all of this. And my
I'm ready for this answer.
is not necessarily a legal one. I want to see Erik walking down the street.
He's just gotten to know
Just
him
walking.
and wants him to be okay, I guess.
You've been a remarkable jury. And I thank you.
Fucking got this, dude.
They're feeling confident.
Could be a mistrial. We could have to do the whole thing all over again.
Erik.
Oh, wow.
It's too expensive. This trial cost, what, millions of taxpayer dollars? And for what? To try to convict two people who, like, America loves? Fuck off.
They'd have to do what they'd have to do, though.
Kind of feels like...
Like what?
Oh. We got more. I've never lived in California, but I don't know how they deal with it.
The whole city's on edge. First the riots, then the earthquake. Verdict.
Right, the Rodney King would have happened like a couple years before this, too.
You know who's terrified of the earthquakes? Erik Menendez. In fact, he's on suicide watch. Fiction.
I don't think he'd kill himself just because of the earthquakes, but yeah, he's probably a bit worried.
He's painting, too.
What can I say? The man's an artist.
And guess what? Here's the best part. Erik's got a girlfriend.
Oh,
I'm
does
not
he?
sure how it would work. I'm not
Oh.
sure how these feelings have
I thought
taken
Lyle was
me
getting all the
over
fan
in a way
letters.
that I feel like I've known you forever, Erik, and that I'm going to know you.
Yeah, so
for
does
the
everyone
rest
else
of
who
my
writes
life.
them.
Well, this one's not getting conjugal visits, if that's what you mean. Which, I imagine, suits Erik just fine.
Would they even
Jesus
allow that?
Christ,
My nerves are just shot. I'm so raw. I mean, that wasn't even a big one.
Just everybody's on edge because
They
of
just
this.
can't relax.
And everything else.
But the thing that's coming that you're worried about isn't another earthquake.
It's a different kind of earthquake.
I do think Lyle was a genius on the witness stand. Maybe an evil genius. But I can't say the same about Erik. I watched that jury, and I don't think he connected with them.
Couldn't connect with anybody with a mic like that.
Judalon Smith.
Hi.
Looking for a new boyfriend?
Look, Demi got her cover, and Michelle Pfeiffer got hers. And look, I get it, they're stars.
Wait, you mean the cover of Vanity Fair?
She's trying to get her
You
fame.
had to guess. First degree, voluntary manslaughter. Do they just get off entirely?
Like maybe the same that
I honestly
Dominique's killer got. Like if they got
But
convicted of that.
if that jury lets them go free, those two dead souls will walk the earth and haunt them.
I don't know about that.
Thank you.
All right. Is this the verdict here?
After much deliberation, this jury unfortunately remains
Oh, they're
deadlocked and unable to reach a verdict. This is what we call a hung jury.
Yeah.
And so I'm afraid I'm going to declare a mistrial.
So they got to do it all again.
Hang on.
It's a good thing.
Order, please.
It's a good thing.
It's a thing.
Let's just talk about it.
Yeah, but
Not what it means at all.
Blame the men.
Yeah. That jury just couldn't get together, I guess. 6 months later.
We are gonna have to do this all over again. And you ladies, my heroes, you are the ones that came around to believe Erik was either not guilty or guilty of manslaughter.
Okay, so interviewing the
What did
first
those
jury.
men?
Well, I felt towards the end like Erik and Lyle were my sons.
Yeah, maternal
And
instinct, right?
I just think.
I just don't think you would kill your parents like that unless something bad happened.
I mean,
Something bad
I don't
definitely
think
did.
this. They think that sexual abuse doesn't happen to boys.
And that's completely wrong. It absolutely does.
Could we call him?
Oh, wait.
Hi, Erik. It's your gal.
The Erik Menendez fan club.
Officially, even though I feel like I already know you, but I just wanted to say that we're all really, really sorry and we don't feel like justice was served here.
You good, Erik? He's quiet.
Leslie, can I just talk to you, please?
Oh, yeah, he's got something to say.
Sure.
Not in a fan club mood.
Well, keep your spirits up, okay? We are
Something
gonna
happened.
win this.
What is it?
In the media, they've all turned against us.
Oh, little change in the media attitude? What's going on?
I'm getting all this hate mail now.
Now he's getting hate mail.
Something's different. I don't know what it is, but
I wonder what changed.
just kind of seems like it's all over.
We're gonna win this.
No, it's okay. I'll just talk to you later.
Yeah.
Miss Abramson, if you really do want to know what the issue
Okay.
was, or one of the issues, I think the other ladies didn't want to say.
Well, okay, so what is it?
I mean, they really didn't like Erik or Lyle, that's true.
Mm-hmm.
But you.
They didn't
were
like
the
her.
thing.
Well, thank you for telling me that. It's fine.
Oh, of course. Thank you again.
Had some Dominic Duns on the jury, I guess.
Some
Those are all some really good
bad
points,
news. The easiest place to start is there's no money.
though. So they used it all in the first trial, I guess.
I'm not really worried about money.
You should be, because there's none of it. And unless Leslie and I start working pro bono.
There is money.
I guess they have to pay more for
what I'd like
another
you to
trial.
do is keep a log of your hours, and then we will pay you.
I guess they can't just get access to their father's money until, they're acquitted, right?
My friend Norma is helping me, although she is really more of kind of like a secretary type position, but she is just completely obsessed with me.
Yeah, she's just
She's
done this
definitely
conversation.
Because you let her record you. So, now she's releasing the recordings. That's
Did
the
Lyle
book.
know that?
No, it isn't.
Lyle?
Man is just too
Told
naive.
her? I told you I can move a jury, because I've been practicing crying.
Oh, that's going
and
in
I'm
the
getting
book?
so good at crying. We need to come up with a story about Oziel and why we didn't tell him about the sex stuff. Or we could say he's blackmailing us.
Oh, that's not good.
Lyle told me about all the types of child abuse he planned to use in the trial.
It's a fucking lie! That is a fucking lie, Jill! I never fucking said that!
She recorded you!
Yeah, it's on the tapes. Well, we know why the
It
media
means
turned on
that
them.
you can be cross-examined about everything that you said if you testify. So you can't testify. Not in the second trial.
I can kind of understand why it went the way it did now.
You are going to have to rely on Erik.
Oh, Lyle doesn't want that.
I no longer feel like I can defend you.
Yeah, she's done. Leno.
I said, would people really donate money to the Menendez brothers? Familiar with the Menendez brothers case?
Yeah.
The Menendez brothers. The Menendez brothers? What kind of talk is that?
If there was a GoFundMe,
Well,
they didn't have that in those days, but yeah.
You've always been more sympathetic.
Well, that's not true.
Yes, it is. You're a much better witness than Lyle.
I mean, when you have a good mic, you are.
Doesn't want another hung jury. So, imperfect self-defense is off the table.
Well, that was the truth. That's what it was.
Okay.
That was our whole...
Do something else.
I can still
know
believe
you
that in
don't
spite of
like
everything
hearing
else.
this, but you may have shot at them, but it was Lyle that killed him. He administered the fatal blow to the back of your dad's head, and I'm just saying he went outside to reload while your mother was still alive.
Do you know how much people hate you?
Now Eric's saying it. Oh yeah.
None of it worked. And now everybody fucking hates us. My life is over.
No, it isn't.
Shut the fuck up!
She treated him like a son, and now the son's rebelling.
How are you gonna help me? How are you gonna fix this?
It is a big change. I can see why it was hard.
Get up. Cleaning those cell blocks today.
What?
We got a VIP coming in.
Is it OJ? It's OJ, yeah. They're gonna be roomies.
Code 3, lights and sirens pursuing, or I should say, following O.J. Simpson as he continues to travel.
Yeah. Everything was going on at this time.
Can we call you Juice?
Y'all the guards. Call him whatever you want.
I didn't know OJ was actually in the same prison.
Juice, my man.
Yeah. You know, they all treated OJ like celebrity, even though, you know, he's there for the same reason Eric is. OJ, I'm a big fan.
OJ?
Yeah, who is that?
I'm Erik. Erik Menendez.
No shit.
OJ probably knows who he is, yeah.
Well, I tell you what, I'm not gonna be in here long. Cause I didn't fucking do it.
Oh.
You know? Nicole.
He was in there for like a year and a half, but yeah.
Do you hear what they're saying out there about me?
Yeah.
Interesting they're not showing
I heard
OJ.
that, is this right? That, Robert Shapiro is your lawyer?
Oh, we know him.
Yeah, I'm getting a bunch. You know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
He did get a bunch.
He was our lawyer too, and actually, well, you should just watch out for him, because he kind of fucked us.
Yeah. He's big on plea deals.
In London. Did you see all those people lined up on the 405? Like, that was crazy.
Yeah.
Folks love OJ.
I guess
They
it's
loved
just
the
hard not
Menendezes
to
for a
think
while,
that
too.
people are gonna stop paying attention to us and just kind of pay attention to you.
Bigger profile defendant.
You should consider a plea bargain.
Alright. That's the episode. Alright, let's talk. Alright guys, thank you for tuning in to my reaction to episode 8 of the Lyle and Erik Menendez story. So we got a little deeper into the trial. So the title of the episode is Seismic Shifts, and that refers to a couple of things actually. Not the earthquakes that are, you know, kind of popping up during the whole episode, and kind of Eric's terrified of them, like Leslie is dealing with it too. Like it's a big earthquake apparently that went through LA in that one January day in 1994. But it refers to another thing too, the title, like the seismic shift in the case. Whereas when they're going in, Lyle's just done his testimony. You know, the brothers are kind of loved, and they're getting a lot of sympathy from you know, the public opinion type of thing. Like they're all getting fan letters. Lyle got some in the previous episode, and now Eric's starting to get some. Apparently they both have girlfriends who wrote to them. Erik does his testimony. He doesn't come off as, you know, convincing as Lyle does, but it's partly because of technical shit, like the mic. And, you know, we're in the age of the internet now. We know when technology doesn't cooperate, you know, that it kind of pisses us off. And that's kind of what happened with Erik there. But of course, back then when, you know, you're not used to a mic, you're not used to like being, you know, a public figure or whatever, you know, it kind of pisses you off when you're trying to work around stuff that doesn't work. And it's not your fault it doesn't work. It's just, you know, the way it is. So the judge finally calls the jury in, and, you know, they've been deliberating for a while, and finally, and, you know, they just could not agree. Like, the men wanted to convict, and the women either wanted to acquit or convict of manslaughter. And there were a lot of opinions as to why. Like some of the men maybe didn't believe the abuse, like didn't believe in a general sense that abuse happens to men, which is totally wrong. Like maybe they didn't feel the maternal instinct that the women felt. Like Leslie kind of treated Erik like her son. And a lot of the women jury, you know, they agreed that, you know, they kind of felt like Erik was their son. And they understood where they were coming from. And that's why they didn't want to, you know, send him up the river. You know? But meanwhile, the men, you know, thought different. So they just couldn't get the jury to agree. So they had to call a hung jury and a mistrial and, you know, do a whole new trial. And then before the next trial starts, some conversations that Lyle had with Norma, who Norma was recording them secretly, got out. And Lyle was recorded saying a lot of incriminating things, like, I know how to cry, they're coaching me on how to cry on the stand, this is the sexual stuff I'm going to talk about, which, yeah. it makes him look really bad. And it makes the two of them look really bad. So much that Lyle's lawyer, Jill, did not want to continue. And Erik feeling it too, like during the conversation that Leslie Abramson is having with the 6 jurors who wanted to acquit, who are all women, by the way. Leslie decides to call Erik while they're there, and Erik is not in the mood for that, just wants to talk to Leslie. Everything's different, you know, we're not getting the fan mail anymore, we're getting hate mail. And one of the jurors at the end of that meeting decides to say, you know, I don't think the other ladies wanted to say this, but the men on the jury did not like you, Leslie. And later, Erik, while he's in a meeting with Leslie, tells Leslie the same thing. You realize the jury doesn't like you. And all of a sudden, the attitude towards the brothers has changed. Like, their prospects towards the second trial have changed. Like, if they were saying Lyle can't testify because they'll ask him, like, anything that's been recorded, a large part of their defense from the first trial, you know, like, is gone, which is going to make the second trial a lot harder. And I can finally start to see why it ended the way it did. The episode ends kind of on an interesting note. Erik is woken up and saying, you know, we need to clean around because there's a VIP coming in. It happens to be O.J. Simpson. And they show Erik, you know, watching the Bronco chase on TV, which is, the most famous high-speed chase in history type of thing. And then O.J. is finally brought into prison and ends up getting the cell next to Erik. I don't know how true that is, that if they got the cells next to each other or whatever. I can believe that they were in the same prison because it was around, you know, the same area, you know. But they end the episode with Erik and O.J. having a conversation like, I'm Erik Menendez, you know, O.J. saying, I'm not going to be in here long because I didn't do it. Erik saying, you know, I'm facing another trial. You know, talking shop, basically. So interesting way to end the episode, and yeah, we definitely felt the seismic shift, not only, you know, in the earthquakes that are happening throughout the episode, but, you know, in the case as well. And yeah, it's going to be interesting going into this last episode. Yep, there's only one more. Like, I don't know if they're going to show any more of OJ. I don't know if the conversation or the relationship went any further than what we saw right there. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to go into this last episode of the series and this last trial, I guess, and see how things change. It looks like it's going to be a very different trial from what we saw there. We're almost at the end, guys. One more episode, and we're through the series. So can't wait to see what's going to happen, but that'll wait till next time. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Check out my sports vlogging channel, JordangeVision Sports. And once again, this is Jordan saying you can be productive sitting at home on your couch. All you need is a TV, a great catalog, and a vision. This has been JordangeVision. Have a good one, guys. We'll see you for the finale. Take care, and bye-bye.